Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to FF episode 2736, 2736. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, here at Café Anyway, somewhere
Mike's Daily Podcast.
in Podcastro Valley, where it's gonna rain and people are trying to get back into the swing of things, and they got their sack that was left over from Santa Claus. It's got a bunch of trash in it now because the toys were taken out and given to the in-laws, and there's a bunch of wrapper
Mike's Daily Podcast.
wrapper left over, lots of wrapper. So it's episode 2736,
Mike's
2736.
Daily
Did you have a good
Podcast. Yeah.
whatever that holiday was? Good. We're going to cover some interesting things on this podcast here at Café Anyway, where mysteriously a lot of the Christmas decorations and ornaments have stayed. Nobody's taken them down. Oh wait, nobody took them down last year. These are the same ones that were put up probably years ago, probably before COVID, and we just got into a bad routine. Like some people that when they're hungry, they don't eat something healthy. They don't maybe bring something from home. They don't think like that. No, they see a drive-thru. They look for a drive-thru and they eat there. I often did that up until a few years ago when I realized, hey, if I don't start eating right and start eating the good fats, I'm going to probably die much younger than I want to. So it seems like we're all a bit quicker to hit the panic button these days. Like road rage. You hear lots about road rage. Shocking news about teen violence. It's the norm, not the exception. So what's gone wrong? According to Dr. Oldu Erasmus. Actually, it's Udo Erasmus. U-D-O.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's not a picture of Dr. Udo, but it's of me, Dr. Mike, who's not a doctor, but who is a fan of music. And I found some of these old 80s records, and it was at a brewery called Almanac Brewing Company that's there in Alameda. And Kevin, who's done an addendum with Kevin on this show before, he works there. And wow, it's a cool looking place. So my lovely lady friend took a picture of me with these wonderful records. The late great Basil the Boxer. Oh, you know, so we honor Basil on every podcast with his beautiful operettas as he sings. Is it Tom Brady? Is that the football player? And Giselle bunches of oats. Somebody. Yeah, they're divorced now, but they had a dog that they had when they were together. And I forget which one of them kept the dog, but the dog passed, and it was a pit bull, and it made it to 11 years old. Very similar to the situation with Basil. They were with the dog, I think it was Lulu, when she died. And yeah, just very touching, poignant. The kids of Tom Brady were there. And well, anyway, that was a big story that was out there yesterday. And just, you know, these dogs and pets are such a part of our lives, and is if we can be there with them as they leave and pass through the golden arches into pet heaven.
The word of dog.
At the golden arches, because the eating there is not great, is what I'm saying. Fast food might just be fueling our fury, and we're being mean to everybody, maybe even our furry animal friends. We've chowed down on way too much of it over the last couple decades. So Dr. Udo Erasmus wrote the book, Fats That Heal and Fats That Kill. But can a daily dose of burgers and fries from the Golden Arches really send us off the deep end? And could a bucket of the Colonel's crispy chicken push us to the brink? Here's the thing, says the doctor. The fast food is seriously lacking in essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6. And so I've heard some people say, don't worry so much about the omega-6s. It's the omega-3s you need. That's the healthy fat that helps everything move a lot better in your body and is anti-clogging all the stuff that you don't want clogged. The doctor says these nutrients are crucial for our brains to function properly. Research shows that if these are missing from our diet, we may start seeing emotional disorders like hostility, depression, and even suicidal tendencies. According to Dr. Erasmus, frying doesn't do any favors for us. It destroys those essential fatty acids. And even before they hit the grill, these fast foods are stripped off the good stuff. They're stripped of the good stuff by processors and packagers to stop them from going bad during storage and shipment. The stuff that would make them good for us, they take out so they don't go bad. Isn't that fascinating? And he says we become a grab-and-go culture where the speed of getting your grub has trumped the quality of what we're actually eating. Our collective addiction to fast food is wreaking havoc on our bodies, emotions, and minds. And that would then say to all of us in our own brains, logically, that means it's wreaking havoc on our society. Does this mean we should all go cold turkey and boycott drive-thrus to keep our sanity in check? He says there's solid research out there linking fatty acids and mental health, but fast food giants aren't exactly racing to include these findings in their recipes. So if you can't resist the allure of fast food, make sure you find a way to fix the fatty acid deficiency that you're creating, because you need the good fats. The good fatty acids. According to Dr. Erasmus, as we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth.
Anyway,
those who up their intake of essential fatty acids usually find a lift in their mood and less anger and hostility.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
Boosting your diet with essential fatty acids could lift your spirit, sharpen your focus, might even help tackle attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. So in my own research, I have found that if you do a quick search, I won't say the name of the search engine. Okay, if you do a quick Bing search. But here's the problem with Bing now. Every time you try and do a search, it pushes you over to the ChatGPT side. And that, even though it talks to you and that's cool and everything, sometimes you just want the list. Show me the list of websites that I can check out. Don't just pull it all. But no, it wants to do all that for you. I remember back in the day, you had to go and look at the actual websites. And then, of course, it's pointing you at websites that it wants you to point towards, like you could kind of get around being pushed, having the websites pushed in your face. The specific ones that the search engine wanted you to see because the search engine was getting paid by that particular company. So make them see it first because we're paying you the big bucks. Well, anyway, if you do a search, you find that the foods that are full of fatty acids that are good for you are fish like sardines. It has to be these. It can't be, tilapia doesn't have it. I don't think trout has it, but salmon does. Sardines and the mackerel. Mackerel does. Then there are several nuts that have it, like walnuts. Avocado has it. And those diets, now can you live on just those things alone? I don't think so. I think you also need your other stuff, your other fibers and whatnot, and nutrients. But it definitely, you don't see McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, KFC, you don't see them pushing any kind of foods that, let's say, salmon. And salmon's so expensive, and I ate salmon recently at a nice restaurant. It was part of our Christmas party with my company, And the portion of salmon that you got was so tiny.
A fine article.
Silly, great, fat article.
They were serving it, but charging over $30 for this tiny piece of salmon. So it would be nice, instead of fast food pushing French fries on us, they were pushing things like walnuts, avocados. Hey, have an avocado, and not charging us through the roof. But, that's the other thing, is their food is supposed to be cheaper. Although a lot of fast food that I've checked out in my life, I haven't gone to fast food recently, but in the past, let's say 5 years, I remember seeing that it was getting more and more expensive.
Ginormous.
And how can you top up on these essential fatty acids? Dr. Rasmus suggests that a daily dose of 2 to 5 tablespoons of seed-based perfected oil blend, which you can find at most health food stores, is a good place to start. You could even drizzle the oil over your cheeseburger, he adds. Oh, that's right. Olive oil is supposed to be good in the good fats. And flaxseed oil. Flaxseed. Actually, whenever I bake anything or use flour with anything, I make sure to put a lot of flaxseed meal in it, which you can get from Costco in these big bags. So Dr. Erasmus's pioneering work in health and wellness started 40 years ago. As a prominent voice of the healthy fats oils movement, he raised manufacturing standards of food oils, including flax oil.
Mike's out of left field recordings.
Recording everything captures actions that will never again be repeated.
We love you, Mike.
From the people over at the PR group, they sent that to me.
The Marco Minute.
But that is some food for thought. That to think about. That kind of eating that kind of way.
Mike's Matthewsman Park.
The front panel will close automatically. Please remain seated at all times.
Over the past several days and weeks, there's always an upturn at the beginning of the year for health places, health gyms, eating healthy. Hey, I'm going to buy into a subscription of having direct from the farm vegetables sent to my house. And every week they find whatever. They scrape the bottom of the barrel at the back of the barn. Barrel barn, back of that alliteration, and they mail it to my house, and I have a monthly subscription, and it costs this much money. Meanwhile, the food is going bad because I didn't use any of the vegetables last week. This didn't happen to me specifically. It happened to a roommate I had for a while. There was a young guy that lived at the house who was a student at a local, we have a chiropractor school in the area. And he was going, Mr. Health was what he was. And so he's like, I want to subscribe. Well, he didn't eat any of the vegetables that he was getting. And meanwhile, in the kitchen, the vegetables were attracting all these bugs. It was wonderful. So that's the thing to worry about there, to just be paying attention to, not necessarily to worry. Because we want less worry in 2024, don't we? But just, if you're going to do a subscription model, if you're going to buy into one of those business models for the subscription, don't do it if you can avoid it, because you'll forget and then you'll be charged and you'll be like, wait, what? And it's always a good idea to do inventory on all the stuff you've got subscriptions to, because we forget and then we're paying for things we don't use anymore. Look who's here. Speaking of which, hello, Kathy's. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Yes, I have a subscription plan for my snow globes, Mike Matthews. Oh, people get like a new snow globe every month? Yeah, Mike Matthews, it's great. And it helps me stay in business over the year when there's like nobody buying snow globes because it's not Christmas. That's true. Christmas is really the big snow globe time of year. Or if you're on a vacation somewhere and you go, oh, look, they got snow globe, a cheap snow globe in the gift shop, that kind of thing.
The Daily Haley. The almost Daily Haley.
That's right, Mike Matthews. Thanks for summing everything up. You're welcome. I need some good fats, Mike Matthews. Get those LDLs up. Or is it the HDLs? I don't know.
You will travel into the incredible universe.
Kombucha!
Woo!
It's high density lipoprotein. And it is a fat-like substance in your blood that can affect your heart health. The fact is HDL is formed inside the body. They are known as good cholesterol, as they are famous for their protection for the heart against heart diseases. It inhibits low density lipoprotein oxidation, which you don't want. Thank you, Internet, for that.
Magnification.
HDL's lower cholesterol levels. They transport the fat molecules around the body and remove the LDLs, or the low density lipoprotein oxidation, from the blood and tissues, and it protects the heart against diseases. Look what else is here.
The Fascinating Material Project. FM Project.
This is Valentino, the parenting attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Mike, we wanted to wish you a very happy New Year if you don't get a new podcast out before New Year's Day. Yeah, New Year's Day. Do you know that?
Hey, kids. It's me. Do-Re-Mi the Clown.
But okay, look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, this is all fascinating stuff. You were talking about healthy things on your podcast today. Mm-mm. Yes, we just got into that. I find that fascinating. I have to find out if herring is good in that. We have in Podcastro Valley a couple of European stores, and they sell funky things like herring. So I guess maybe that is let's see. I can't tell right here. It is soft fin bony fish. Oh, it could include, I guess it's similar to sardines, so maybe it does have good fats. I'll have to did you know in Scandinavia, the cuisine is entirely inspired by the ingredients Icelanders have found around them? From free-roaming sheep to the cod, herring, and Arctic char that splash around the cold waters.
The cutting corners corner.
The Cutting Corners Corner! Thank you for listening to this shorter podcast today. I am going to try to stay up to date and keep the podcast daily. Occasionally I get interrupted, but we forge ahead. We forge on. We forge all kinds of iron works at Café Anyway. We make chairs out of iron, or John Deere, the engineer, does. And sometimes Bison Bentley and Floyd and Valentino, the parking attendant, are making chairs all day out of iron. And it's pretty amazing because quite frankly, it's life-threatening with all that hot iron everywhere and metal, molten metal. Kind of scares me. So much so that I give out the phone number here.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with more ways to reach me, here's a frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!